Welcome to today's digital lesson. Children, in the earlier lesson, a hero, you have seen the role play of the children. You might have understood the gist of the passage well with that video. In that lesson, you are assigned some task to prepare a news report on the bravery incident of Swami. Have you done it? Yeah, you might have done it well, I think. Now children, let's watch a video clip that shows you how an incident occurred in a hotel in New Delhi. Are you ready children? Let's watch it now. While watching this video, let us observe the video first, then let us read the report later. Okay? Are you ready children? Here we go. Now children, let's read the news report of that incident. We have already seen the visuals. While reading the news report, observe the sentences colored differently on the screen. News report of an incident happened in New Delhi. Fire claims 20 lives by Srujana. New Delhi, December 15. A major fire due to cylinder blast in a roadside hotel broke out in Chandni Chowk area on Thursday evening at 7:30 p.m. The impact of the blast was so powerful that the roof of the building ripped apart, killing 10 people on the spot. Another 10 succumbed to injuries later in the night. The condition of 50 injured people is critical and they have been admitted to a nearby civil hospital. Delhi government has announced a relief of 50,000 rupees to kin of those killed and 30,000 each to those injured in the accident. A probe has been initiated headed by the Chief Judicial Magistrate VK Singh, said an official. Children, look at this news report. You might have understood the news report. Now children, let us analyze this news report in detail. Are you ready? Yes, here we go. Let us think of this news report with some questions. What is the news about? Yes. The news is about a fire accident, that is, fire claims 20 lives. Okay children, fire claims 20 lives is written on the top of the news report and it was given in a huge size. So, we call it the headline of the news. So, for every headline of the news, we have to write it in 3 to 5 words only, so that it will be easy for the readers to understand the news at once. And this headline catches the reader's attention towards its news, and this headline must sums up the news. Now children, let us think of one more question. Who reported the news? Yes, Srujana reported the news. So, we call it byline. In the news, there is a phrase that is by Srujana. So, we call it byline. So, byline gives us the information of the writer's name. Particularly, we write this byline for sports news and for crime news, food news, current events, etc. So, for these kinds of news reports we used to write byline. Byline is nothing but children, it is the name of the writer. Now, children, let us think of one more question. Where did it happen? Yes, it happened in New Delhi. And one more question, when did it happen? Yes, it happened on December 15 at 7:30 p.m. When we go through the news report, we can find that when and where did the incident happen. So, children, in that report, New Delhi December 15 tells us that the incident happened place and the time of the incident, date of the incident happened. So, news report we call it place line. So, in place line we could find that where the incident happened and when the incident happened, that is the place of the incident and the date of the incident. Let us think of one more question. What is the first statement in the news report? A major fire due to cylinder blast in a roadside hotel broke out in Chandni Chowk area on Thursday evening at 7:30 p.m. This gives us the entire news in a single sentence. So, children, very first statement, the very first sentence of the news gives us the complete news report in a single sentence. So, we call it the introduction of the news report. So, in the introduction of the news report, we write a single sentence and that summarizes the entire news. Now, children, let us think of one more question. What are the facts about the news? Yes, a powerful blast has happened there, 20 people were killed, 50 were injured, and the government reaction and relief activities etc. were mentioned in the news report. So, this area we call it body of the news report. So, body of the news report is the detailed information of the news. It is the complete incident and its consequences narration is given in the body of the news report. Now, let us observe the last sentence of the news report, that is, a probe has been initiated headed by the Chief Judicial Magistrate V.K. Singh, said an official. So, it is the quotes of the words that is spoken by an official. He says something about the news. So, we call it quotes. Quotes is an optional thing that we can mention in the news or we can omit in the news. Whenever you need to write quotes of the news, then you have to mention the words of the persons involved in the news and you have to mention them in the quotation marks. So, spoken words of a person regarding the news is called quotes. Till now, you have observed the features of news report. Let us have a look at the features at a glance. Are you ready, children? Here we go. Features of news report. It has a headline and the second one is byline. Third feature is place line. Fourth feature is introduction and the fifth one is body of the news report and the last and the sixth one is quotation. Children, you might have understood that the headline attracts the readers and gives the information within 3 to 5 words, and byline gives the information of the news writer and place line gives us the information that where the incident had happened and when did the incident happen. Introduction is the introductory part of the news report. It is the only single sentence that gives the entire news in a single sentence, and you know pretty well body of the news report, it gives us the complete facts of the news report. You might have know very well about the quotation that is the spoken words of the people who involved in the news. Now children, till now you have observed the features of the news report. Let us observe a model news report on the bravery incident of Swami. Observe the news report carefully and find whether the features are covered in that news report. Are you ready? Here we go. Brave boy caught burglar by Srujana. Koratla, December 7. Swami, a brave boy who is in class 5, caught a thief last midnight at Koratla. When he was challenged by his father, he slept in his father's office room. In the midnight time, a thief entered the office room to steal. The brave boy, Swami, caught him bravely and beat him hard. When the thief cried in agony, Swami's father and others rushed and fell on the burglar. Then they called for the police. He is the most wanted burglar, said the police. We appreciate Swami and recommend for the bravery award. Children, this is the news report written by some of the children of class 7 as you. She is none other than Srujana. So, do you find the features of the news report in this news report? You might have find it. Okay children, now let us go for exercise. It is your turn to write news report on an incident. Look at these pictures children. There are two pictures on the screen. What is the first picture? Yes, children are playing kabaddi. And what is the second one? Yes, they are playing bag running. So, when do usually children play such kind of games in schools? Okay, usually they regularly play in their play time, but particularly we have some occasions in our schools, that is Independence Day, Republic Day and some other occasions. So, children, these are the children playing on their particular occasion, that is Republic Day. You might have played in your school as well. So, now children, it is your duty to prepare a news report on games and sports in your school on the occasion of Republic Day celebrations. Remember children, while preparing this news report, you have to keep it in mind that the features of the news report. In this news report, you can add this information. When and where did it happen? That is the sports and games event happened in your school. Why were the games and sports conducted? So, you have to answer this question in your news report. Who won the games? What is special about the games and sports? Whether any guest attended? What are the benefits of the games and sports? So, if you include these answers of these questions, your news report will be fulfilled. So, while preparing news report, keep these questions in your mind. Next children, how to prepare a news report in classroom? Let us observe in detail. First, you have to work individually. Individually means you have to work your own, so that you have think of the incident and you have to think of the features of the news report and you have to write your own news report. Then group work, you have to go to your group and discuss with them. Finally, you have to come over there and present your news report. So, let us discuss what to do in these three sessions, that is individual work, group work and presentation. Individual task. First children, find answers for the 5 W's. Those are what, what is the incident, when did it happen, where did it happen, who involved in the incident, why did it happen, and how did it happen. Then try to bring out the headline. You have understood very well, I think, that brevity is the most important thing. That is, while you are working on headline, you have to prepare the headline using 3 to 5 or more words. Next, for byline. Byline, you remember that byline is the writer's name. Then for place line, you have to work then place line. You know pretty well, place line is the area where you write in news report, that is where the incident happened and when the incident happened. Further, work on introduction. You might have understood well that introduction gives us the entire information of the news incident in a single sentence. So, that you have to work for the introduction, you have to prepare a single sentence that has to give the complete gist of the news. Next, you have to work on body of the news report. So, children, you know pretty well that body of the news report gives us the facts or the other details. Finally, if possible, work on quotations. You know pretty well, quotation is optional thing. You can write a quotation or you can omit the quotation. So, all these things you have to do individually. When your work is come to an end, then you have to move for group work. So, children, in your group work, what you have to do is go to your group members and discuss. What you have to discuss? You have to discuss about your news report, whether the title that is given by you for your news report is apt. You have to ask your friends whether the body is correct. So, you have prepared some body of the news report and you have to ask your group members whether it is apt or correct for the news incident that is assigned to you. Then whether the content is relevant. So, you might have written a paragraph, that is 6 to 8 sentences in body of the news report. You have to ask your friends whether this content is relevant or not. May I remove a sentence or may I add something more? Whether the quotation is apt. If you write the quotation, you have to ask your friends whether it is apt for this news report. Finally, you can present it in front of your class. Meanwhile, you may ask your friends to edit it whether they have some grammatical errors as well. If there were any grammatical errors, your friends may rectify them. Next, children, it is the time of your presentation. While the presentation, your teacher will take care of this session, so that you have to go over there and give your presentation in front of your class. If necessary, or if your news report needs some refinement, then similar to your group, there will be some other groups in your class. So, that other groups will help you to refine your news report. Finally, after the group's refinement, if necessary, your teacher will refine the news report, so that your news report will come to an end. Now, children, we came to an end of this lesson. Have you enjoyed this lesson? Have you understood the lesson? That is, we have been discussing for the features of the news report. So, you might have written the news report that is assigned in the earlier lesson. So, whether you followed these features of news report or not, discuss in detail in your classroom. Wherever you get doubts, do please ask your teacher and make them clarified, so that you will be able to finish a complete and interesting superb news report. Okay, children, bye.